A new season of the Canadian Rally Championship begins at Rallye Perce Neige. Rallye Perce has 2 titles in the bank, and a three-peat would secure his status as the next great name in the sport. But Maxime Labrie has come close to putting his name on the cup, and a stacked field of experienced veterans and talented newcomers are determined to make Perce fight for every point in 2020. From the first kilometer, these classic winter rally conditions will have the teams on their toes. Attrition always plays a heavy hand in this game. Who will be left standing atop the podium? The 2020 Canadian Rally Championship starts now. Welcome to Maniwaki, Quebec, home of Rallye Perce Neige, the opening round of the Canadian Rally Championship. The teams are gearing up to hit the stages, led by the defending champion, Rallye Perce.
I've been running this rally for probably the past 5 or 6 years or something like that. And this year is probably the best year I've seen yet. Roads conditions are perfect. And the guys did a really great work on preparing the roads and having something nice for us. Should be fun.
Yeah, pretty excited. I think we were able to, solve all the teething issues that we had last year. So pretty confident for this year.
First rally of the season, so I'm excited to get the season underway. The roads are icy but good. I haven't spent a whole lot of time on icy roads in this car, so it'll be a bit of a new learning experience for me. Seems like every rally I do in this car is a learning experience, but it's just another one.
Yes, here we are. We're back at Rallye Perce Neige with our new car, our Dodge Neon SRT4. This is an all fresh rebuild here. Fresh engine, fresh chassis. Maybe this is the year where we can get everything right.
Came for some revenge on the snow. Big White didn't end well for us. We were doing well, and the car was going great, and then it died on us. So called Wallingford back and said, "Dude, you got to get that car back together. We're going to give it another try." So here we are in the snow, looking for some revenge.
27 teams will attack 16 stages worth of traditional winter rally roads. Shorter in-town sprints balance against long and grueling forest stages to make the opening round a rally to be reckoned with. The Canadian Rally Championship is presented by Subaru Canada. Confidence in motion. Rallye Perce inaugurates the new season by leading the teams into the first stage. It's actually been several months since Perce last attacked a stage, having wrapped up the championship well before the final event in 2019, so there might be some rust to shake off. There's also a co-driver change in the number 1 car. Hubert Gaudreau is taking the place of Samuel Joyal, who has taken a technical position on the team. Gaudreau is no rookie though, and it isn't long before driver and co-driver are in sync, laying down stage-winning times. Maxime Labrie and Annick Barrette were plagued by bad luck last year, but in the best tradition of the sport, they're back for a fresh attempt at the championship.
Crest, gauche 4 points à flanc, continue à jonction.
Having spent the off-season completely rebuilding the ex-championship winning car, they're convinced that the mechanical gremlins have been evicted and hope to start the season with a strong result. This team has led the championship before and has the experience to know that the real rally doesn't start until the long forest stages later in the day. Jean-Sébastien Besner and Yves Joyal are also veterans with the experience required to go the distance and are usually in the fight for the overall podium. But today also marks a new challenge for this crew as they are piloting a Subaru for the first time with test racing. The STI has very different handling from the Evo that Besner is used to, but he's using the opening loop to get used to the new ride. Rallye Perce Neige has been a bit of a bête noire for Nicolas Laverdière and Vincent Trudel, but they return with high hopes.
Stay right over crest et gauche 6. Into droite 5.
After bagging their first win at Rally Charlevoix last October, their car has been thoroughly re-prepped over the winter, but they're off the pace early on.
Gauche over crest 5 pour un droite 6.
With the long forest stages ahead, there's plenty of time for them to get up to speed. Having put their Fiesta R5 on the podium of the final Canadian Rally of 2019, Dave Wallingford and Leanne Junilla are gaining more experience and speed on snow this weekend. They have a very busy rally schedule planned on both sides of the border, and each kilometer that clicks by is another step closer to finding their championship pace. In two-wheel drive, the usual suspects are back for a battle. Leading the way are Mathieu Leblanc and Eric Dubé in their Honda Civic. There's no question that this team has the chops to win the class, and they're holding nothing back on the first loop, pulling out an early lead. Pushing hard this early is risky, but Leblanc and Dubé have a clear understanding of their limits. Also recovering from a period of bad luck, Jason Bailey is back in the Fiesta and is definitely on the hunt for the win. He and co-driver Jamie Willits are adopting a more conservative strategy, focusing on going the distance rather than outright speed. Both Leblanc and Bailey have to watch their backs, as American Chris Greenhouse returns for another attempt at the class win. With co-driver Ryan Scott and a freshly built SRT4, he's ready for the showdown.
Into 5 right short, stay in over crest.
Greenhouse definitely has the speed. If all the other elements come together, he could take home top points. The cold winds and snowy roads are no match for the spirit of the spectators, who always cheer on their favorite drivers and co-drivers no matter what the conditions. The teams have wasted no time putting on a good show for their fans. Correa and Gaudreau have opened up an early lead, making a clear statement that they are on a mission for a third championship this year. Labrie and Barrett are also off to an excellent start, with their talent now matched with reliable machinery. The off-season efforts seem to be paying off.
In gauche 3, over 4 long.
Sebastien Clark and Yannick Marin's last rally ended with gearbox failure, and unfortunately, it's more of the same today. Climbing as high as third, their rally ends before the first service. Showing surprising speed, Alexandre Moreau and Ian Guite are edging closer to the podium, posting top 3 times by the end of the loop.
Long droite 3, tightens 2 sur crest, 50.
Marc Bourassa and Elise Ressette also have their sights set on the podium. They definitely have enough speed, but keeping the car between the snowbanks will be key. Despite this small mistake, they're still in the hunt.
Tightens 2 sur crest, 50.
Oui.
Gauche 4 short, sur droite 4 short, sur long gauche 3, 60.
By the end of the loop, the battle lines have been drawn in two-wheel drive. Leblanc and Dubé pull out to an early lead, using every inch of the ice and snow-covered roads and avoiding any mistakes. Correa leads Labrie by almost 40 seconds after 7 stages. The battle for third is heated, with Moreau, Besner, Drake, Laverdiere, and Wallingford all in the same 30-second window. Leblanc has a commanding lead over Bailey and Greenhouse in two-wheel drive, but the long forest stages are yet to come, and the fans are geared up for it.
Rallye Perce Neige, mon chum, on fait ça n'importe comment. C'est malade, man.
We'll be right back.
Subaru has been in Canada for a long time, building a reputation as champions in the toughest of conditions. 13-time Canadian Rally Manufacturers Champion and counting. Claim your own piece of history for $29,995. Subaru, confidence in motion.
Welcome back to Rallye Perce Neige, round 1 of the 2020 Canadian Rally Championship. After an exciting first loop of stages, the teams have arrived at the first service of the day, and the defending champion is happy with how the race is shaping up.
Good, it was a blast. We had fun, the conditions were perfect. The car was great, Hubert got into the seat pretty well. We managed to keep the car together, making sure that we don't get a problem and then carry it on the stages until we get to service, because it was a long loop, and then we got here, so everything's good. Parce que moi, faut que je mette les mêmes que toi. Pour qu'on soit en pied d'égalité.
C'est correct. Mets les mêmes que moi. Mets des
ossettes. Tu me donnes le sage d'avance, par contre. Parce que moi, je pars en avant.
Wow. Ah, c'est donc ballon. Strategy is not to take any risk. You know, it's a long rally. Things are going to happen. So we got to make sure we're there at the end. And if we're there, you know, we should be in a good position.
First time I'm driving this car, so it's been, I'm I mean, honestly, I'm not totally comfortable with the car. Still, I think the pace is not too bad, so it should be okay. But the real rally is starting right now.
The battle is already heated in two-wheel drive class, where LeBlanc and Dubé are leading the charge.
Well, so far everything goes good. Roads are slippery for everybody anyway, so we managed to go through. We have a small issue with the oil leak, but nothing major. I think we're going to be able to solve the problem. And heading down for the big loop, you know, like this is where we're going to see exactly where everything stands. I think right now we're probably in first position, I guess. And are we going to go get a better advance, or we don't know yet. So can't wait to go in the wood.
The locals, the Quebec guys, they know snow. They know snow very, very well. I live in Vancouver. We don't know snow. We shut the city down when it snows. So we're doing okay. You know, we're getting used to this car, but those guys are really good in the snow. So I can keep up with them. And one spin, one flat tire, one bad corner, and I'm going to be right there.
Yeah, new car felt good. Not a whole lot of problems with it. That I'm very, very happy with. Yeah, the other guy's still a little bit faster than me right now. We tend to always come in from the first loop behind them. These are stages very good for the Canadian drivers. A lot of flowy, icy roads, and they're just pretty good at them. So we're a little bit behind them right now. We think we can take it back out of them in the force.
This service is critical as the next loop of stages starts in town in front of the fans, but quickly dives deep into the forest. Some of the most notorious stages in the championship are coming up after the break. We're back at Rallye Perce Neige, where Karel Carré is leading the teams into one of the most challenging loops of stages that the championship has to offer. This leg of the rally starts with a short spectator stage in the town of Maniwaki, specially designed for the fans. But then the teams are off to attack the challenging deep forest stages. Early in the loop, Carré and Gaudreau are in trouble. A drive shaft is coming apart, forcing Carré to back off and preserve the car. At best, this will reduce the car to two-wheel drive. At worst, the broken shaft could damage other components, potentially ending their rally. In either case, they have nearly 90 kilometers to complete before the next service stop. Maxime Labrie and Annick Barrette might sense an opportunity, but they've got their own problems. A broken suspension has thrown the car's handling out of balance. So, they're also fighting to keep the car between the snowbanks long enough to get it back to the mechanics.
En avant, droite 4. 2 mid-crest.
Labrie has a high degree of mechanical sympathy, so he has a good chance of nursing the car to the end of the loop. After a tremendous drive on the 40-kilometer-long Kitigan-Zibi stage, Nicolas Laverdiere and Vincent Trudel have jumped up 3 places to third overall. But their success doesn't last. They suffer a flat tire and decide to drive it out, a decision that ends their rally. The shredding tire slices into the car's wiring, killing the engine and any hope of finishing the rally. A tough blow to Laverdiere, who has had more than his share of bad luck at Rallye Perce Neige. Showing great speed and consistency, Alexandre Moreau and Ian Guite of Team Swap Shop are making steady progress up the leaderboard. With Laverdiere out, they take over third place, which puts them in sight of their first national podium. But they're facing a serious challenge for third by veterans Marc Bourassa and Elise Ressette. They're up to fourth, but trail Moreau and Guite by less than 15 seconds.
Small crest, caution, gauche 3, 20.
With still 100 stage kilometers to go, this battle is just getting started.
Droite 4, 15. Droite 3, 40.
Just outside the fight for the podium, but improving their stats with each stage, Marc-André Brisebois and Marie-France Desmarais are building experience towards an eventual championship hunt of their own. They're up to fifth, about a minute ahead of Besner and Joyal, who are still getting used to their new car. In two-wheel drive, Mathieu Leblanc and Eric Dubé have been putting on a clinic in their Honda. Their lead in the class is up to almost 2.5 minutes, and they're still going flat out. But then, disaster strikes. A blown engine ends their rally, and they coast to a stop just past the similarly stricken Laverdiere. Chris Greenhouse has been trading seconds with Jason Bailey all afternoon, and with LeBlanc out, he takes over the class lead.
5 right plus long, tightens 5.
Car off.
Okay.
Want to back off.
Okay, good.
He's fine.
Yep. 5 right short and 4 left minus.
Okay. Another car off. Hold on.
Oh, keep going.
Okay.
It can be tough to stay cool when you pass one of your biggest rivals on the stage, but they know how to stay rational in the face of major changes. They're also aware that Jason Bailey is only seconds behind, and there is no margin of error in the fight for the two-wheel drive win. It's the makings of a class showdown on the night stages to come. 12 of 16 stages complete, and Carré manages to hang on to the lead despite the driveline trouble. Labrie also holds position despite the broken strut. The battle for third between Moreau and Bourassa is down to 13 seconds. Greenhouse leads Bailey in two-wheel drive, but only by 4 seconds. The teams are in for the last service of the rally.
It was quite something. First stage, Kitigan, we got a flat on the rear right. I think we lost about 20, 30 seconds, something like that, but we still had a good time. And the next stage on Kayama, we busted a front drive shaft. We are still leading the race right now. I don't know by how much. We didn't lose much. I think we lost about 10 seconds overall with the flat and the drive shaft. But we're here and the car is fixed, so it's good.
The wheel was loose, so it was the car was very unstable, but it held up and we were able to bring it back to service. Now the swap shop team is going to fix that in no time. I think Karel has close to 2 minutes in front of us, so I don't think it's worth taking the risk going after him. And I think we also have the third is pretty far behind us, so I think we're gonna play it safe right from now on.
C'est ma 4e course que je fais. Les 2 dernières, j'ai fait des DNF mécaniques. La première au régional, fini 4e. Fait que quand même, je suis très content de ma performance aujourd'hui.
My goal today is just keep it between the snowbanks and make it to the end. If you don't go too wide and you don't hit any major stuff, you could get pretty good results.
Yeah, I really like the conditions out there are way better than last year. We have 1 minute to get to be on the podium, so we might try to push it a little bit more, but not too much.
Bit of a shake-up. That force loop is always a tough run. It's cooling down. They're getting worse, and in this next pass, it's going to be worse yet. It doesn't matter where you are in the standings right now. This next pass always decides this race.
Yeah, we were not really keeping the pace with LeBlanc, and then we saw him on the side of the road. So maybe a little bit more motivation to try a little harder and try to take this thing. We're in the championship rounds now. Yeah, we're going to go for him.
It's the final loop of stages at Rallye Perce Neige when we come back.
Subaru has been in Canada for a long time, building a reputation as champions in the toughest of conditions. 13-time Canadian Rally Manufacturers Champion and counting. Claim your own piece of history for $29,995. Subaru, confidence in motion.
Welcome back. Teams are about to start the final loop at Rallye Perce Neige, a repeat of the challenging forest stages, but now under darkness. The Canadian Rally Championship is presented by Subaru Canada. Confidence in motion. With his car fully repaired, the defending champion leads the teams back onto the stages. These roads are challenging enough in daylight, but when darkness falls, the difficulty hits a whole new level. The night stages at Rallye Perce Neige have derailed the plans of many drivers in the past. Carré and Gaudreau have a large enough lead that they can and should adopt a more conservative pace to ensure they bring the car home on top. Maxime Labrie and Annick Barrette have got to be feeling good right now. Despite the minor setback of a broken strut, their new car has remained reliable throughout the event, allowing them to build a significant lead over the battle for third. A second-place finish for this team would be vindication of their hard work. The battle for third place is reaching a tipping point. Alexandre Moreau and Ian Guite strike first early in the loop, taking another couple of seconds on Marc Bourassa and Elise Rassette, but then a mechanical failure on the second stage of the loop forces them to retire. Bourassa and Rassette immediately dial back the risk, adopting a more conservative pace to ensure the podium finish.
Droite 6, short sur small crest.
They are far enough behind Labrie that an attempt to close the gap would be futile, and they are far enough ahead of Marc-André Brisebois to relax a little. With Brisebois and Desmarais now up to 4th, and Besner and Joyal in 5th, Test Racing has 3 of their cars in the top 5. A fantastic performance for the team. The battle for the two-wheel drive class has come to a head, and Jason Bailey and Jamie Willits make their move. They dig deep and find even more speed on the first of the night stages, carving Greenhouse's lead down to less than 2 seconds. But before Greenhouse has a chance to respond, the steering rack on his SRT4 comes apart, making the car virtually uncontrollable.
That was really bad.
So is it the rear?
I think it's like the steering's off or something.
I thought it was the rear stepping out
something's
more.
in the steering.
Okay.
I got a bunch of play in the steering wheel.
He elects to retire. Up at the top, Labrie and Barrette have managed to kick the remaining gremlins out the door and bring their swap shop car home to a solid second-place finish. But in the end, Test Racing's Karel Correa and Hubert Gaudreau led the rally from start to finish, winning 2/3 of the stages. A commanding performance in difficult conditions and a sure sign that Correa is hungry for a third championship. With the win in the bag, Correa's title defense is well underway. Labrie and Barrette shake off the bad luck, taking home second, and Bourassa and Rassette earn the remaining podium spot. Marc-André Brisebois and Jean-Sébastien Besner round out the top 5. Jason Bailey and Jamie Willits take home the two-wheel drive win, placing 6th overall.
It was quite something. I mean, these last stages are pretty hard. Kitigan was really rough, a few big rocks. We managed to stay calm, get the focus on the road. It's a good start to the season. I mean, we're hoping for another championship this year. So with that result in the book, it's pretty fun. So we'll see how it goes, but we like it.
Very happy, second place. It was a great rally. The team, worked so hard to get the swap shop team, they worked so hard to get this car ready. And, now it is really good. Now it's looking good for 2020.
Very happy with the end result. Like I said earlier, I wanted to keep it between the snowbank, and that's what I did. Went great. We had a great day. It was a great rally. So very happy with the result.
Here I am. I knew how to do this. It's strategy. It's nice to finally have a win. I had such a terrible year last year with DNF after DNF with mechanical stuff that was out of my control. I needed it.
With the champagne flowing, the 2020 season of the Canadian Rally Championship has just begun. Thus begins the crisscrossing of the country for the teams. Who else will mount a challenge for the title? And can Carré persevere? We have a whole year's worth of rallying ahead to find out.